A very good morning to you, Craftlot. I had a bit of a rush this morning and I think I lost the plot. I was rushing about and I was getting ready and I thought I only got 10 minutes until I need to do the Facebook Live. And so I quickly tied my hair up, put some makeup on, and then I realized it was 10 to 9, not 10 to 10. So I had a whole hour to get prepared and get ready, but never mind. How are we all doing today? It's quite sunny outside here today, so hopefully I left my bike at work. I will be able to bike this afternoon as we're going in to tidy up the warehouse. We got two parts of the warehouse, and one of them where we work out from, it's got a nice mezzanine floor as well, so office is upstairs, and all the guys are working downstairs. And we got like a little part which is completely separately where all the bulk stock comes in. So I'm really looking forward to what goodies I'm going to be finding today, because quite a few times you sort of get stock in, it goes on the shelf in a little a place, and we can find really good things later on what we forgot about it. So we'll be tidying up the warehouse today later on. Right, so many of lovely ladies of you and gentlemen, I suppose, here today. So let me just say hello to Alicia, Joe, Lucy, Nat, Camille, Margaret, Leslie, Debbie, and Tida, Lourdes, Leslie, Doris, Janet, Paula. Oh, Doris is saying, morning, Kitty, you look nice with your hair back. I do wear them back quite a lot. So when I'm working or doing things, I don't like the hair in my face. But yeah, so this morning I just really wanted to do very quickly. Morning, Maxine, Dorothy, Margaret. Oh, Mama Millsop is here. Good morning, Mummy Sarah. Good morning, Maria, Joan, Natalie. There's so many lovely ladies of you. Jane, Marion, from Ireland, Anne, Marisa, Mary, Debbie, Sheila, oh, Donna, Camille, Paula. Oh, there's so many lovely ladies of you. So let me just turn the camera around. I had a little chat with Sarah, with her rig as well, because when I watched her video the other day, it was so nice and close. And she said, just bring your ones down a bit more. So I left it a little bit further up today, and I will bring it down just in a minute to show you what we're making today. So today we're going to be working turning loops, but we're going to turn them in a different way. So we're going to be creating this lovely little coils. Do excuse my nails, they do need doing, but I haven't had time to sort of sit down and do them. And you can make earrings, you can make all sorts. You can, even if you can just add one bead, it looks really nice, because the coil what you're creating on these, they will look really nice as like little spacer beads, I guess, as well. So let me take the camera further down a little bit more so we can have a really nice close-up and you can see what I'm doing. So excuse, the camera might wobble a little bit. Just let it go down a little bit more. I'm not sure how it's quite close. I only got probably about, I guess, 8-inch to work here. So we'll see how we get on. Just take it back up a little bit to give us a bit more room, a couple more inches. That's it. Right, so on the website, what we did, the free PDF page is gone. And we have replaced it, if I bring this in, with a page which is called Facebook tutorials. So if you go on our website, click on categories, you go down and you can see we got a page here now called Facebook tutorials, because what we wanted to do, quite a lot of you were asking that they can't find the previous videos as well. I mean, you can share it. If you share it on your timeline, it will be there like forever, I guess, and you can go back and look at it. You can also save the video on Facebook, but we wanted to pull something together where you can go back and watch each one of those lovely Facebook lives, and we did put the relevant materials in there as well, so for you to be able to buy if you need some things, and it gives you an idea as well what we've been using and what we need. So I'm just going into today's one. We got these Preciosa Flower jewelry kits on there. They are half price today. We only got limited stock. I counted up the stock yesterday in the warehouse and we really only got limited stock of these. But hey ho, the free PDF today is the instructions for this kit, which will go through for you how to turn the loops and how to turn into charms, and then last page, gives you sort of instructions of what you can do. You can even make a little ring with this. And I've done it on elastic, so it's really nice and easy to wear and very comfortable as well. So without further ado, let me show you how we're gonna do these lovely loops. Morning Ian, morning Joe, Liz, there's so many more of you joining us today. Oh, Joe's saying the Facebook tutorial is much better and easy to find what you're looking for. So we're trying to give you all sorts of different techniques, if you like, as we're going through the days. Some days we are doing sort of easier projects like today, we're turning loops, which is quite easy. And other days we will be doing more intricate designs like bead wavings, and we've done all sorts of things over the last 6-7 weeks now. So we've done, Sarah made a really nice beaded bail the other day. I done macrame, we done kumihimo, we done playing with a sparkling cord yesterday, the sparkle ribbon, that was really nice. I love that, love those bracelets. We also oh my God, thinking back, when you have to sort of think back what we've been doing a lot of things, and your mind sort of goes blank, I guess. Sarah did beaded rings, we did buttonman with Christopher, we did a ginkgo bracelet, a rainbow bubbly bracelet necklace, netted bracelet, pin collars, brick stitch earrings, clip-on earrings, the flat spiral with the rainbow, that was really great. Loads of you love those. Bead weaving, Russian spiral, we done wire wrapping, chain tassels, we've been playing with rivolis, with holders, chain mail, mesh jewellery, loads, beaded chain with, when you create the links with beads. Right, so I have prepared myself and I've done quite a few loops already, which I can sort of use today, but I'm going to show you how to do them. So let's do some of the pearly ones. So the pins, what are in the kit, and what actually these pins are perfect for this technique because they're a little bit softer. These hat pin balls are a little bit softer than the normal hat pins you have. So the normal hat pin is usually probably about 0.7 in thickness. This one is 0.6 and it's got a lovely ball on the end of it. So you can it becomes like more of a decorative little feature on it. So if I show you this one up close, you can see it just sort of sticks out and it's a lovely little ball on your design. I'm using the black color ones today. Now you're going to need round nose pliers for this. I'm going to show you, I've got quite a few pairs, but I'm going to show you these two pairs. These ones are more precision ones and they are much thinner as well. These ones are a little bit thicker. I use these for quite a lot of crafts, so they are a little bit sort of manky, but never mind. Well loved, I guess. Depending on how big you want to make these loops, use a plier which has got larger sort of round pricks on them, or larger ends, larger tips, and you will be able to make smaller ones. But as well, if you coil it further up on your plier, I like to coil them the widest part, so that's why I'm choosing my pliers with the smaller loops on the end, because then we'll be doing the same loop, exactly same size all the time. Oh, Camille is saying we have so much from these live videos from you both and Sarah. Thank you very much. You are very welcome. We're really enjoying them as well. It's a really nice thing to do. Really quite easy, relaxed, and yeah, we can just sort of sit down and do some crafting. Natasha is saying, love the ring you are wearing. Did you make it? Yes. So these are got the flares on them as well. I think these are different colors. I don't think this color is available anymore on the website, but this is mine, so I do wear this, but this is done with the same technique. And I know a couple of you said that you got arthritis and you got quite large knuckles and it's really hard to get the ring over it. With this one, because it's elastic, you can make them to fit you, and very easily you can take it on and put on. They're quite comfortable to wear as well and quite pretty. Right, so we're going to use our hat pin balls. I just added a pearl on the top. letting it go all the way down. And then I'm going to bend the pin to a 90-degree angle, just to sort of give me a nice finishing at the end. I'm not going to cut any of the wire off because I'm going to use all of this wire to create a lovely coil. Then I'm going to insert into my pliers nice and flush at the top so I don't see any of that wire sticking out as well, and I'm going to start turning it. Now again, you don't have to turn it and do big loops. You can do just small ones and keep going around. Now I'm going to let this to go the inside of my loop and just keep on turning it and turning it and turning it, just like that, all the way down, rolling all the way down. Now depending of how long is your head pin, I guess, head pin ball, you can do 2 or 3 coils, and again depending on how big you make these loops, this can be wider or thinner as well, but they do act as little spaces. So let me just show you again. So I'm just gonna pop the bead on, turn it 90 degrees, turn it right down, then I'm gonna take my pliers and just keep coiling around, but I'm doing little movements as you go around. I'm letting it go and coming back in and keep coiling it around. Now if you finish it and you find that your end is a little bit away from the rest of the coil, then get your other pair of pliers and just sort of press them together a little bit, and that just secures them even further. Now I'm going to show you, if you move this down on your plier, what will be the difference. So I'm just going to pop another one on there, bend it again. Sorry, I just put some hand lotion on my hands because my hands are so dry and it's really slippery. So now I'm going to show you, if I do it further down, I'm going to create a smaller loop, and my coil is going to become even bigger as well. So depending of how big you want to make this spacer charms, I guess. So this will be going around quite a few times. So I created a smaller loop here, as you can see, to this one, but the coil is gone around much more as well. So it's just up to you, sort of what size do you want to make them. I like to make them quite nice and large because then I got space there to hide. If I do elastic, I can hide the knots underneath it. It doesn't matter, again, see, now I'm turning it the other way. It doesn't matter what way you're turning it. It's whichever way you're comfortable with, holding your pliers and turning your loops. It's really quite easy, and because it's a thinner wire as well, it's quite easy on your hands and to turn them. So you can sort of practice and make some up. Right, so once what I usually do, I get all my beads out and I turn the loops on the top of them to have a nice little pile of beads to work with. Then I start to string them up. Let's just do one more of this pink one. So I got enough to sort of do a nice design. So again, I'm not cutting any of the wire off. I'm just going to coil it right down. Oh, Lucy's saying we have been blessed with Kitty and Sarah and everyone at Totally Beads. I'm loving the newfound hobby. Yes, I think quite a few of the messages in, and we're really loving, because as designers, it's great to sort of give inspiration to people, and when it's so nice to hear that you're enjoying it and you're coming back to us. And I had so many lovely pictures emailed in as well, what you've been making from the Facebook Lives, or perhaps you had one of our kits from Totally Beads. It's just really nice to sort of see that we can inspire people, because I think that's what I said in a previous video as well, when I used to do the big shows at the NEC, and they do all sorts of crafts, from knitting to sewing to paper craft and everything, and I always used to go around and I bought such a large stash of other crafts as well, because it's the inspiration. When you see it in front of you being made, you know that these are not hard. We're not talking about rocket science here. These are really easy techniques to do, and everybody can achieve them, and you can achieve a professional finish very easily, just sort of giving a little bit of time, a little bit of practice, and you on your way. So that's it. I got quite a few of them now. So in the kit you get a chain as well. So what you can do is to, where's my necklace gone? So you can just do the, actually I'll show you the purple one. That's really full. I think that you'll got one of these on the website or a couple of kits left. But this one is really full as well. I made a front piece of these flowers quite nice and full, and then I just attached pearls going all the way to the back. Where's my blue one? It was just here a minute ago. Oh, it's hiding behind here. So with this blue one, what I did, I made the front piece on tiger tail. I'm going to show you how to string it on tiger tail. Sparingly, I added a few larger pearls as well to my design, and then I attached a chain to going towards the back of it to lengthen the necklace, because this is really what you can see when you're wearing them. The back part, especially if you've got long hair and you have it done, you can't really see this part as well. So I think in jewelry making, this, I call this is sort of a little bit of a cheating, because you can create really nice and spend more time to create the front part really nice, and the back part you can cheat a little bit and speed it up, because just attach a little bit of a chain. Right, I'm gonna take a piece of tiger tail. Because I'm only doing the front part, I don't necessarily need a really long one, so I'm only taking maybe about 8-10 inch here, and then we'll have to trim it at the end. Now, also in your kit, you get cloths, you get crim beads, you get everything what you need. So I'm going to attach one end to my tiger tail. Let's just trim this, because this end was in the spool itself, so it had a little kink on it. Now I'm just going to put my culotte on. Now the culotte is like a clamshell. It's like two little balls stuck together, I guess. And you're going to put a crim bead on the end. Then once you close this culotte over the crim beads, it's not only going to hide your crim beads, but it's going to be, because it's got those loops on there, it's going to be your connectable component for your necklace. So I like to double crimp my necklaces, and especially bracelets, because I had my children are not that small anymore, but when they were smaller, you know, children, they straight go to your necklaces and bracelets and tag on them and pull them. So to crimp a crim bead, I'm going to take this right to the end and just squeeze it out flat. So that's it. That's crim bead is a very soft metal, and once you crush them into the shape you want them to be in, they're not gonna move, they're gonna stay there. And then I'm gonna bring the culotte right up to the top, and all I'm gonna do is just close this in. I'm gonna go close the two sides around, and that's nice and secure on there. That's not gonna move. And then we're gonna go to the other side and start stringing. So I'm gonna add one of the smaller pearls on here, because I want, if you made your loops big, like I made my loops big, you don't want then you string your loop on and sort of go straight over the color and fall down on the other side. So I'm just going to add, well, a 6mm or an 8mm bead will be nice there just to hold it. And after this, you just, it doesn't, I don't really look at it. Some people like to look at it to put the this sort of little coil charms on there the same way how they strung it. I like to alternate them and really not paying much attention how I'm putting them on, just sort of go along and string them up. I'm trying to sort of do different ones, so I got a nice selection on here. And every so often, and as you can see, because we did the coils, they're filling up the tiger tail quite nicely, so you don't have to have so many on them. Let's put a pearl on there, and actually I'm gonna cut this larger pearl string, and I'm gonna add some of those between. I love this color. I think this is called rosewood on the website. It's such a nice pink color pearl. And then I'm going to add a larger pearl, so I got some of them up there already, and then I'm going to repeat. So I'm going to add the smaller ones again. I try to, because I'm quite regimented, I suppose I got a good dose of OCD in me, but I like to have the same. If I added 5 on the first lot, and I'm trying to add 5 on the second lot as well, just to keep a nice and even structure to my necklace and add the pearl. Now we're going to add a larger pearl and go on and keep stringing them up. Right, let me just see your lovely comments. If I miss any of your comments or if I don't read them out, it's just I'm concentrating so much on the design and trying to make it up. But I will go into the video later on and answer every single one of them if you got any questions. So I'm using a couple of flowers, one of these half color each, this half check fire polished rondels. They look really great. And again, I'm there with the, where I need to add my larger pearl. So you can see how it's building up already. And we got a lovely little pattern here with all the components. But as I said, I do like to sort of sit down, make my components up first, sit in front of the TV, because it's a very easy technique. You don't really need to pay much attention to it. You can just sit there, watch TV at the same time and make all your components up. I need this one. And the pearl. I'm probably gonna add maybe another 3 sections. Just sort of going through and adding them all on. Jean saying, good morning Kitty and Sarah, looking forward to your videos. I think somebody said that before on one of the videos, I can't remember who it was, but he said that we are the reason she gets out of bed in the morning, because for 10 a.m. Because she always makes sure that by 10 a.m. she's sort of showered, dressed and in front of the her laptop watching the Facebook lives to see what new technique she can learn today. And I thought that was so sweet. So keep adding the flowers. I'm not doing the same pattern in every single sort of inserts here, but I'm trying to add the same beads, not in the same way, but so we got, because when you're doing something like this, it looks really natural and it's very easy to do. So even if you add one less or one more, I guess you're not really going to see it that much. So I think this will be my last set. I need to make one more. Oh no, I got this one. One more pearl. Just keep adding them on. And pearl. The last one of my half silver one. Now you can create this in so many different colors. And another flower. And I'm gonna add a small bead at the end again before I attach my tiger tail, the calotte and the crim beads to my tiger tail to stop these coils to go over. So I think that's probably enough for a little bit of a front piece. This is probably about 6-7 inches, I guess. About 15 centimeters or just a little bit over. So it's a nice front focal piece for your jewelry. So now I'm going to take another calotte and I'm going to add the calotte again to my tiger tail from the bottom end going into it. Then I'm going to pick up a couple of crim beads. Well, actually on this end, probably it's easier if you crimp one and then add another one on top of it. Now, I had a couple of questions from ladies that after they crimping it, they find they have a little gap at the end in their jewelry. So to do this, especially if you do a really long necklace, I find that if you crimp your necklace curved, and then you straighten it up, you will have a little bit of gap. So if you don't want to have any gaps, don't forget you don't want your necklace rigid either. Crimp it straight. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna pull them down so I don't have any little gaps. Crimp it straight, put my beading straight, and I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna grab that little crimp and just squeeze it onto my tiger tail. Then I'm going to pick up another crimp bead. Let this to go down all the way and go in with my pliers, and I'm going to crimp this as well. So I always double crimp it because it just gives you the extra security. There's other ways you can do it. You could feed your tiger tail back down through your beads, but I find, I know Sarah does that, which is great because each of us, like, we prefer slightly different techniques, I guess. And I'm just going to trim the end, flush to my cutters, and just trim it off. I'm gonna close this end up as well, just like that, and our front piece is done. Now we could have added more. If your coils, you do less coils on there, then they're gonna be more sort of bubbled up, but I think they look great just like this as well. Then I'm gonna add the chain to it. Now if I wanted to do it like I did it with the purple, I didn't crimp it at the end. I crimped it right at the top, added my pearls, my larger pearls. Then I added all of these lovely beads and added the same amount of pearls on the other side as well, then crimped it. But this time, because we're adding the jump ring, we made it smaller. So I'm just gonna take a jump ring and my chain. Now chains usually the same sort of, that they behave the same as jump rings as well. So we could open the last link on the chain, same way, twisting it apart as we would with the jump ring, and add it to our cloth. That would give you, depending on what chain I use, sometimes the chain, if it's too small or in fact the little links are too fat on them, you can't really do that because you won't go that little loop. But I'm just going to attach it with a jump ring. So now when you do a jump ring, you try to hold it with 2 pairs of pliers, support them as much as you can, and you're going to twist one towards you and the other one away. Then I'm going to add my cloth loops on there and the chain at the same time, and then I'm going to twist it back in. So when you're twisting it back in, so I'm going to show you so you can see it, I always go past the midway just a tiny bit, and then it will spring shut. Now you know when you close your jump ring like completely, when the 2 ends are rubbed together. If they are slightly, let me just pull this a little bit, so if you're slightly a little bit apart and you got a little bit of a gap there, well then let me just get this out of the way so you can see it, then you can very easily remedy that. So what I would do in that case, I would open it up, push it in a little bit, take it to the other side, push it in a little bit more, and then bring it to the middle. So you got a nice closed jump rings, because I think so many times it happened to me as well, especially if I buy something in the, I do pick up 1 or 2 pieces of jewelry when I'm out and about in supermarkets, and especially when they're on sale. The jump ring is your weakest part sometimes of your necklace, and if the jump ring comes apart, then unfortunately you can use your necklace or bracelet. So you do really make sure all the time you close it 100%. Lourdes is asking, are the earrings made with tiger tail too? No, they're made with jump rings. I'm going to show you just in a sec how to make them. Let me just add this chain onto this side and close this back in. Just make sure this is nice and secure. So I'm gonna need about that long. I'm just gonna trim that chain and cut the chain here. 1 and 2. And on the other end of the chain, which one side we're just gonna add a jump ring, and on the other side, at the same time as you're adding a jump ring, you're gonna add a lobster clasp as well. So the jump ring is where the lobster clasp is gonna close into. I can see that you're replying to each other's comments, which is so brilliant. And just gonna pop the chain on the end there. Now that you can close, if your links are larger like this one, you can close the lobster clasp into any of the chain links, which is makes your necklace, I guess, a bit sort of a multi you can vary in any size you like or you need to, because if you're wearing bigger jumpers, then you can wear it further down. If you're wearing like a v-neck t-shirt, you can take it further up, and that's it. That's how easy it is to make one of these necklaces with the chain. I think it's so quick. Once you turn your loops, I do like to make them, and I sort of just put them in little pots and they just sit there. So let me make a little pair of earrings with the blue ones, because we've run out of the pink ones what I prepared. So to do the earrings, let me just get this, move this out of the way. Where's my air wires? There they are. So I'm going to start off with the air wire itself, and then let me just get these out, my lovely flowers and my half fire polished. And they're not half fire polished because they were half the process. They half fire polished because they cut them in half, so it's sort of like a little flower shape. They just look really, really great. So I'm going to start with my earring, air wire, and then I'm going to need quite a few jump rings for this side, because what we're going to do here, I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to attach a chain. Oh, Murray's saying morning, Simon, in the background. Simon said, oh, I'll jump on and answer some of the questions. So I'm going to open this jump ring, add my air wire, take the end of my chain and add this there too, and close it back in. Now, depending of how long you want your air wire, you need to cut the chain. This one, the way how I did it, I left some of the chain exposed because I like my long and dangly earrings, and I only added the loops at the bottom. So I'm gonna do, because it's a large link, you can either count the number of links on there or you can measure it in a ruler. I'm just gonna do as a sort of rule of thumb, let's make it this big. And then very easily, let's just get rid of this last half link what I just cut. You very easily, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take your jump rings, if you don't put any pearls between the links, it creates more of a bunch. Yes, that's right. I think Bernie was or Bernadette rather, sorry, I don't know how you say your name, or like to be called, is answered somebody's question. So we're going to do jump rings and open and close the jump rings. Every single time we're going to add one of these lovely little charms we made. And again, and you're just going to fill it up as much as you want. You can fill it up more or you can fill it up less. Let's add a different one. Let's add this one. So I'm just going to go the link above. I might add a few, I might add 3 to the bottom. So we have a nice sort of more hanging down to the bottom, because all of them, as the gravity is going to take them downwards. So I'm going to add 3 jump rings to the bottom and just keep adding them one by one. We got that, so I'm going to add this color. I'm going to put this on the other side of the flower. Where are you? So I'm going to go here. So when I'm adding, when I opened and I added the little charm to it, I'm not letting my jump ring go. So I'm keep holding it with one pair of pliers, nice and secure. And as you can see, just if you want, you can just add 3 of them, or you know, it's your design. It's up to you how many you can mix colors. You can do so many different things. And I added 3 to the bottom, and I'm gonna go up 1. So I got 3 in this link, and then I'm gonna add 2 into this link. I probably add 1 on either side, but if you want, you can just add 1. It's really up to you. And then I'm gonna open the next one. Shall we add one of these ones? I'm gonna turn it around because I want to be on this side. and go into that link just like that. That's it, and I'm gonna close the jump ring back on. So now we got 5 on there, but oh, you can keep going and add as many as you want. I'm gonna add a couple more and probably stop there. Have I got any of the pearly ones made up actually? Oops, sorry, wobbling the camera. I got some of the pearl as well, so let's add a couple of the pearls in there as well, just to give a bit of a variety. But you can use any beads for this technique. I like doing this technique with these head pin balls because, as I said, they're just a tiny bit thinner wire. So the normal head pins are usually a 0.7 and these ones are 0.6, so it's a little bit softer to work with. But because you're coiling them over, they're going to be really secure, really safe. They're not going to come off. They can't fall off because they're coiled back on themselves. There is quite a few different techniques on this, or like you can do chainmail with this as well, which I'm planning to do another video later on, making a bracelet, and in that way we're gonna be creating our own chain with jump rings and adding these as we go along. So that's it. Maybe 2 more. Shall we add 2 more, or are we happy with our little bunch at the bottom? I think it's really pretty. I love making dangly earrings because, especially if I have my hair up and in the summer when you're wearing your lower tops, you can they can be really pretty, just sort of flying about your just above your neckline. Right, so I think that's it really today. Let me just go back. If I see any of your lovely messages. Can you buy the half fire polish separately? No, I think we only had these ones in for the kids because we went to Preciosa in Czech Republic a couple of years ago, and we went to their factory, and oh my god, their factory is so huge, and their factory shop is really, really big as well. There were so many lovely pieces to buy, and we just bought sort of, I think, a few bags of different colors, and we put it together in the kit. So sometimes you buy things in larger quantities, and then you can buy them separately on the website, but sometimes we only buy sort of beads enough for a certain kit. Oh, everybody's saying morning to Simon as well. No, this is not on any of the USBs. Somebody was asking if this technique is on the USB. No, it's not, because it was one of our kits, what we did. And he's just joined the video. Good morning. Mina is saying I watched at 10:30 p.m. Sarah on Korean Craft last night. Oh, bless. That must have been one of the repeats. Margaret saying, I love those flowers. My daughter was taking me, so I missed the beginning. Is this a kit on a website? Yes, this is a kit on a website. It's available. I think we got 3 colors left. And there's not many of the purple ones left. There's, I counted the stock up yesterday when I was in. There is quite a few left on the blue one and the pink ones. I love the blue one because I wear a lot of the blue color clothes. I think half of my wardrobe was either blue or navy, but we got plenty of the pink ones as well. The pink one I love because it's not your sort of standard pink. It's got this lovely I think dogwood, like hazel or whatever color I would call this. Really, it's like an AB finish on the flower. It's got a couple of bright pinks on there as well in the strings, but you don't have to use the brighter pink ones. You can use just sort of the more of this color pair. I love this one. I think it's called Rosewood. On the website is such a lovely pink. It's really muted. It's got like a hint of maybe brown in it. It's a really, really lovely rose color. It's not really, when I say sometimes, and you can like shocking pink colors like really, really bright one. This one is really muted, sort of going very nicely with skin tones as well. I love this one. So that's in the pink. So that's it for me today, really. Let me just turn you back around so I can see you. I hope you really enjoyed the video and inspired you to make some bits of pieces for you at home. Do pop a picture on, we got a couple of groups on Facebook, and probably the biggest one is the Totally Handmade by Totally Beads. I see so many lovely pictures there, like daily, what you're making after the Facebook like, and pop it up there, and it makes me feel so glad to see that we can inspire you. So do go and have a look and post some pictures up. You can, as I said, we got these kits, they're half price at the moment, but you can make this technique with any sort of beads. It's great to have the hat pin balls for it because they are a little bit softer to work with, so when you coil them over, they're just easier on your hand, and it will be nice and secure because the coil goes around there quite a few times, so they're gonna be nice. And oh, and Tita's saying, Kitty, the purples are out of stock. That's when I wanted, are you beginning anymore? No, sorry. So we only had a limited stock of these ones, and we're not going to be getting stock anytime soon for them either. So the blue one, I guess, and the pink one is still up on there. Sometimes we have like hundreds and hundreds of packs and stock for things, but sometimes we only got sort of limited items. Just to sort of point out, I'm wearing my different earrings today. There's so many of you asked about these beads, and I got a little bit of an update on these ones. So these beads are made by Helen, she's a lamp work artist. She makes glass beads on torches, and she's then has to put in a kiln to sort of heat them up and make them really nice as well. I did email her. There's quite a few who asked if I can get some of these beads because I wear them. They are my favorites. The white one I wear all the time with my white tops. This one is like a purpley blue, but they also, I got them in sort of burgundy, I got them in pink, I got them in quite a few colors. I really do love them. So I emailed Helen, and Helen said her studio is just being sort of, she's redecorating her studio at the moment, but she should be back in a couple of weeks making beads. So we will be able to get some beads from her, and we can sort of bring it to you. They're handmade beads. They're really, really amazing. I'm going to do a video on Saturday. I'm going to sort of scrounge all my jewelry boxes and everything on Saturday on my personal Facebook page, which is Kitty Robinson Design. And I will show you all the different colors and all the different beads she made. So perhaps if you are interested, do let me know, message me, and I can ask her to make some and send some over for us. Dorothy's saying gorgeous beads. Yes, I love them. I wear them all the time. And I had one of them, my sort of pinky burgundy one. We went down shopping in Lakeside, and halfway through the shopping, I just sort of put my hair back behind my ears, and I realized I sort of, one of my earrings fallen out, and for the next 2 hours we were walking around Lakeside, and I was in such a mood because I lost my earring. And I think I was so lucky because when we walked back to the car, and it was just outside next to the car door on the floor, and I thought, thank God I found them, and I'm really, really treasure them. So yeah, I need to be very careful with them. So that's it for me today. Tomorrow it will be me. We're going to be doing Russian Spiral 4, and that will be a little bit more intricate design. We're going to be stitching together beads with 3mm crystal beads with needle and thread, but it's really nice and relaxing as well. You can do multicolors, you can do stripes in them. That's Russian Spiral is one of my favorite techniques. Well, I suppose I like peyote stitch, I like netting, I like all of them. So that's it for me today. Do check out the previous videos. You can check out on Facebook as well. And we do set out that a page which has got Facebook tutorials now. So the free PDF page is gone, it went up in a puff of smoke. And we got the Facebook tutorial page on the website as well, where you can go back. We listed by date, so you can go back, and there's a picture on the front as well, which is the video. And when you go in there, there's a products, and there's a big blue button saying Facebook page, and if you click on that, it will bring up the video for the Debbie's saying, I love Russian Spiral. I love them too. Oh, Kitty's saying, put rubber ends of your earrings, stop them falling out. Yes, I do now. After that incident, I do put rubber I got like but I got metal ones as well, I suppose, just to keep them nice and safe. It depends on what airwire I'm wearing, because sometimes I like these longer ones. They sterling silver. I like them because they stay in there. But if I wear the smaller ones, that's what usually falls out of my, oh, losing needle and thread, my worst nightmare. Oh no, I'm sure you'll be all right. I've got a really funny story about needle and thread, but I will tell you that tomorrow. When I went to a class and I pre-threaded all my needles to be prepared, and you can imagine what happened. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day, everybody. Stay safe and keep on crafting. Bye.